Hey beautiful humans, I'm RidersDX. Welcome to my channel, where today we're going to talk about every single fact that we can glean about Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. And so I basically scoured the trailer, I looked through it like a crazy person. I scoured the internet, I stalked people's Twitter accounts, and I basically got every single thing that I could find about this game so far that I feel like would be interesting information. I have 15 facts, it looks like so far. The first few facts that we're going to talk about here are all about the characters, and so there is sort of an expectation that like all the characters will be returning, although that is not technically confirmed yet. And so for this first bullet point, I'm going to list every single character that I was able to spot in this game so far, whether it be from the trailer or from like outside art or things like that. The following characters are still here. There's SpongeBob, there's Patrick, there's Lucy Lau, Aang, Cora, April, Rocco, Danny Phantom, Garfield, Nigel Thornberry, and XJ9. I believe all these characters are on the cover art for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. And then if you actually go on the website, and I think these characters are also in footage in the trailer, but there's also renders for Invader Sim and Reptar on NickelodeonAllStarBrawl.com. And so those characters are confirmed to come back as well. And then there's one more character that's confirmed to come back that isn't reviewed on like either of those things. Ren and Stimpy were reviewed by basically being beaten up by handsome Squidward in the trailer. So there you go, Ren and Stimpy are back too. And number two, so these next bullet points are all going to be about the new characters that we know about so far. Two of them are probably really obvious to you, but then there's also two that I don't think are as obvious. And so stick around for all those characters. But number two, we of course have to talk about Squidward tentacles. And so Squidward, my boy Squidward, is in Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the prospect of him being in this game. And I'm also just really psyched to see him be so well appreciated, really being like the leading force here to hype people up for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. I mean, you need to have a lot of hype behind you to be able to pull off like literally being the first review for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 and basically taking up like half the trailer. So Squidward really did that. I'm really proud of Squidward for being able to take on that role. But one of the first things, of course, we notice about Squidward is the fact that he has a handsome Squidward move in this game. And so I believe that this handsome Squidward thing is his super move, which is something I'll discuss a little bit more in a bit. But basically, it's just like an all-powerful move that is going to be able to damage tons of people. And the reason that I thought about that was because you can see him actually like attack Ren and Stimpy in this mode. And so I think this is just his super move. He also has a couple costumes that we saw here. And so the first one is his Band Geeks costume, of course. Classic costume that definitely has to be in there. Then there's also a costume where he's an artiste. Now the colors don't really match like the artist that he was in like that earlier season episode where he was like teaching art class. I kind of wish it would match those colors, but I mean the purple and the white does look nice on him, and he is painting like bold and brash in this part, so that's really cool as well. There was a third thing that I thought was a costume, but I actually don't think it's a costume now. And the reason is because he's still wearing the Band Geeks outfit, but you can see Squidward doing that Krakatawa like move over here. And that's basically like, I think, an up move. And then there's also a couple taunts that we saw for Squidward in this video. And the first one is of course him like doing the future thing, which is like really exciting. I'm glad to see that in there. Then we also see Squidward in the bathtub, although he's wearing a shirt, which is weird and kind of like silly, but he looks like he's having a good time anyway. So what are we gonna do, And number three, another new character that we got to see in this trailer is none other than Jimmy Neutron. And so Jimmy Neutron was someone that I anticipated getting into this game, not just because of the leak, but because Hugh Neutron got into the game. So it's like, if you're gonna have Hugh in there, that I feel like a very logical character to add is the actual main titular character of the show, Jimmy Neutron. And so Jimmy Neutron is here. He was fully reviewed, and we did not get to see as much of Jimmy as we did of Squidward, although like he does arrive in like his rocket ship, so there's that. And then otherwise we got to see him like use his gun a little bit and also like do some kicks, but otherwise we don't really know what else Jimmy is going to be able to do in this game, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll learn about that very soon. Then number four, we have actually two more character reviews here that don't have as much attention because, well, I don't really feel like anyone cares about them, but they are like new additions to the game technically. But the other two Ninja Turtles, Donatella and Raphael, are in fact in this game. In fact, what's really funny is that we don't see any signs of Leonardo or Michelangelo, so I feel like it'd be the most funniest thing and also such a troll move if they put these two in the game, but they took out Leonardo and Michelangelo. Like, I think that'd just be hilarious. I hope they don't do that because I know that there's Ninja Turtle fans that play this game, and that would be pretty disappointing. And I'm sure you can make all 4 turtles like unique fighters using their own characteristics and stuff, but nonetheless, I'd also think that'd just be a really funny troll thing to do. But we'll just have to wait and see. At number 5, and so I caught this from both like a tweet and also like an interview that one of the game designers did with Polygon, but basically Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 is not simply just an expansion of the first game, it's literally rebuilt and reimagined from the ground up. And there are so many things in this game that were basically redone. Like, for instance, Leo, one of the lead gameplay and character designers, confirmed over here that the character movesets for almost all the characters have basically been redone. I mean, they kept some iconic moves here and there, but they all feel unique and different from the first game, which is kind of a ballsy move, to be honest, because I didn't think like the characters were like terrible to control in the first game, so to kind of like really change a bunch of that is very interesting to me. In the interview with Polygon, Rodriguez actually went ahead and talked even more about some changes that they made in this game. He did confirm that they basically redid how the movement works by changing analog inputs compared to digital inputs from the first game, meaning things feel smoother and more responsive when moving around, which opens up a whole new world in terms of gameplay and strategy. They've also added some other moves like horizontal attacks, defensive rolls, and dodges. They also added something called a meter mechanic, which is a more in-depth system to the game in general. Using this meter, you can modify attacks, do ultimates, boost damages, slime cancel, and much more unique stuff. The slime thing in particular is something you can see in the trailer a little bit, as you can see a bunch of characters when they do their moves, they can kind of ooze slime a little bit. So I wonder if that's some kind of like way to make the moves more powerful, and maybe the meter has something to do with that, as you can see over here. So definitely seems like there's gonna be a lot more variety in terms of like your gameplay strategies here, and I'm very interested in seeing how that's gonna go. And of course, the final thing that they want to talk about redesign was like the character designs. And so you can see in the trailer that they even showed some like 1-by-1 comparisons between the old game and this game, and how they basically redesigned a bunch of the characters and a bunch of the levels. And so even though there's a bunch of returning content here, it's all redesigned and looks brand new. So it does feel pretty new in that sense. At number 6, so I did mention this a little bit earlier, but each character is indeed going to have what's called a super. And so you basically power up your fighters with incredible new supers, which can do devastating blows to opponents. So think of like the final smashes in like Smash Brothers, basically. I'm assuming that's what those are. And if you check out some of my previous videos, I talk about some of the characters like smashes that may have leaked before this game's announcement. And so we definitely have kind of known supers were coming for a while now, but it's nice to get that confirmation. And again, I'm fairly certain Handsome Squidward is a super here. I just don't see how else you can incorporate something like that into Squidward's moveset. Number 7, this has to be one of the most interesting points about this game so far that I'm really curious about. I think I'm actually going to make a separate video about it, just kind of like speculating about what it could be. But Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 has a single player campaign, and it's going to feature rogue-like elements. I'll be honest, I don't completely know what that means, but one thing that really interested me about this is that it's advertised as putting your skills to the test as you fight to stop Danny Phantom's arch villain Vlad Plasmius from taking over the Nickelodeon universe. And so Vlad kind of sounds like it's gonna be like a final boss of some sort, you know, kind of like the giant hand in Smash Brothers. And so that's why I didn't initially like say that Vlad was gonna be another playable character, because it doesn't really seem like it's gonna be a playable character. He might be, I'm not really certain about that yet, but he's definitely gonna have a very interesting role in this game that I'm pretty excited about. In the interview, like, Rodriguez did talk a little bit more about the single player campaign. This is what he had to say. I don't think we can directly compare it to anything that is out there, at least not that I know of. Of course, if you are familiar with roguelike games, you understand right away how the campaign works, but we made quite a few adaptations so it could work with the platform fighter mechanic, since first and foremost, this is a platform fighter. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically we have a main storyline and you start with SpongeBob. As you progress, you unlock characters which you can use in the campaign, and each character has his/her unique storylines. The structure is the same on roguelike games. You progress through a series of battles, and if you lose, you keep some of your progress, characters unlocked, currencies, etc., and use it to further your progress on your next try until you reach the end. And of course, in the middle we have cool opponents, bosses, and other elements unique to the campaign. You can see in the trailer here that there were some like points where they showed off the campaign. You see these little warp portals that took SpongeBob and Patrick away from Bikini Bottom. At number 8, this is something that was confirmed immediately in the trailer, but there's gonna be voice acting for all characters. No surprise here, since they added it in the first game. There's no way they were gonna take that out for the second game. Like, that would just look very, very sad. So I'm glad to see that voice actors are confirmed for this game. And actually, there was this question that they asked in the interview that really interested me about their whole approach to voice acting. And so Rodriguez says, all voiceovers is recorded exclusively for the game. So there's no like reused clips or anything like that. After the character is designed, animated, and integrated, we write down a script for every character. The script includes all the moves, general feelings, responses, reactions, campaign, and single player lines. We try to use lines from the shows or lines that we think the character could say. So that's pretty cool that they have to write everything, and like everything is completely original. So that's very exciting. And number 9, this is something I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, and to be honest, I don't really know what to make of it yet. I think the first game actually did have a little bit of this, so maybe they'll like expand this a little bit. But there's minigame mayhem basically. So Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 introduces all new minigames to play alone or with friends, and so some of the games are called like Pinch the Blimps, Whack a Bot, and Urkin Armanda Boot Camp Survival. So I have no idea what these could be. If y'all have any ideas, and let me know in the comment section below. But very interesting names to say the least. And number 10, this gets me really excited, but there's full cross-platform play confirmed, and so you can battle it out with up to 4 players on any platform with seamless crossplay, utilizing enhanced netcode for consoles and PC. That was something that really wrecked this game when it first came out, not having crossplay. And so the fact that it does have crossplay is just going to expand the player base so much more, and hopefully the game can stay alive for a little bit longer than the first game did. And number 11, so these next 2 bullet points are going to be about like the levels that we see in the game. So this first one is going to be about the levels that I saw that are returning from Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. And so the levels that I spotted in the trailer and in screenshots are the dump from the Our Real Monsters, and the Flying Dutchman ship, Harmonic Convergence from Legend of Korra, Royal Wood Cemetery from Loud House, Air Temple from Avatar, Rooftop Rumble, Sewer Slam, and Technodrome Takedown from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Urkin Armada Invasion from Invader Zim, Powder Toast Trouble from Ren and Stimpy, and I think that's it so far. Number 12, these are some new levels. I recognize some of them, but I also don't recognize some other ones. So if y'all can kind of help me out in terms of like help me theorize what these levels are, then definitely let me know in the comment section below, because I'm really interested in hearing like what these levels could be referencing. But of course, the biggest one that's really obvious is a Fry Quick Game Stadium from SpongeBob. You can see in this like little picture here that like you got the Krabby Patty like arena on the bottom and stuff. You even got some platforms that look like they were ripped straight out of Battle for Bikini Bottom actually. So that's a really cool like reference if that was like an intentional reference. The second one seems like this like temple like area. It's in an ocean. It actually reminds me of something from Avatar. I don't remember what the name of this place is specifically, but I just remember like this looks a lot like that location where Aang and Zuko went to like this place and did some kind of like fire dance. Ugh, I need to rewatch Avatar. I don't remember the whole context of that thing, but it was a pretty like impactful episode. So the color scheme and the texture kind of reminds me of that. So I wonder if that's what it is, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Next one's very obvious. It's Jimmy Neutron's lab, except it looks like everyone is like miniature size. So Jimmy Neutron's stuff is like huge here, and then everyone is just like these tiny little things, which I guess makes sense because the lab is not like the hugest place. So it definitely looks like you could have some really fun stage gimmicks here in terms of like Jimmy's experiments messing around with the gameplay. This fourth one here, at first I thought was actually the Wild Thornberrys like jungle level from the first game, but it looks very different to me. Like this looks more like a temple than like a rock formation. So I have no idea what this place could be. If anyone has any ideas, let me know in the comment section below. I mean, I also immediately thought it was from the Wild Thornberrys because Nigel was in there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's from the Wild Thornberrys. And so if anyone recognizes that location, let me know. I also don't recognize this one. I'm sorry, I'm such a fake fan, what can I say? But this one looks like a castle. I don't know why, but I'm thinking about the Loud House. I know it doesn't really seem like something that'd be from the Loud House, but maybe it was like some kind of special. I mean, I feel like it's a location I've seen like a Nickelodeon kart racing game before, but I'm not super sure. So if y'all can let me know what you think that is as well, then let me know in the comment section below. And then these last two places, I don't think are like full-blown levels in the game, but it looks like they're environments that you can get to in like the single-player campaign at least. So Bikini Bottom, you know, they model SpongeBob's and Squidward's houses. So I feel like I would love it if they had some kind of like little like section we can like travel through that, or even like fight through that. Like that just be a really fun place to like hang around in a little bit. And then that warp portal transports you to like this like nowhere kind of area in like space, or like the multi-dimensional verse or something like that. And you got these like rock formations, and so I wonder what that place is. I wonder if it has something directly relating to the story in particular. So yeah, I'm very interested. But yeah, a lot of locations that I honestly don't know a lot about, so y'all can help me out in the comment section below. I'd be really appreciative of that. At number 13, so I previously said in like my initial reaction video that this game doesn't have release date. According to Polygon, the game is supposed to be released later this year, and so they just list that right over here right before the interview starts. And I've also seen a lot of people like say that the game is confirmed to be coming out later this year. So I guess it is coming out later this year. I don't know when, obviously, but man, that's such a quick timetable. I really hope they had the time to like make this game like the best that it could be, because it better be ready to go once it gets out there. You know, you can't make the same mistake that you did with like the first game. At number 14, speaking of like the mistakes that they made the first game, it looks like they are trying to like make sure that the game does have a long life once it gets released, because a season pass is already confirmed for this game. There's not a lot that we know about the season pass so far. We know that they're going to release 4 total characters in 2024 through the season pass, and so that's 4 extra characters. So I'm very interested in seeing what those characters are. It's gonna be throughout the year, so hopefully it just maintains that hype as we keep going. If they go for like a similar strategy as they did with like Smash Brothers, then hopefully that works out well for this team. And then at number 15, we actually have a lot of info about the different editions of this game. This is something I'm not as happy about, to be honest. I'm really tired of like multiple editions when it comes to video games. I'm just like, give me like a normal version, or give me like a version that has everything. Like, don't give me like, get this version only on Steam, or like get this version before the release date, it's only a pre-order exclusive, or things like that. Like, I just, not a trend I'm very liking in like modern gaming, to be honest, but what can you do? So if you pre-order the game, you get an exclusive Patrick Elastic waistband costume. If I figure out what that is, I'll have Dave post an image of it right here. There's a base game which is $49.99. I believe that's actually more expensive than the first one was, wasn't it? Wasn't the first one just like $39.99? Or am I remembering that wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. There's also a digital deluxe edition, which is $69.99. It contains the season pass at a discounted bundle price, which, okay, I guess that makes sense, because you can see the season pass below is like $24.99. So I mean, yeah, there you go. Then you have the Ultimate Edition, which is $79.99. It contains the Digital Deluxe Edition and also 1 extra costume per character. Dang. So they're really pumping out the costumes for this game, actually, which, I mean, is a very smart idea, because the costumes are definitely going to be like huge money makers for this game. So I'm very curious to see what those costumes are. I can't wait to find them out. Of course, you got the Season Pass, which not only does it have those 4 downloadable content brawlers, but also has an exclusive SpongeBob Quick Stir costume as well. Again, so many different costumes. It's gonna be crazy seeing what they all are. And then you can also download the 4 individual downloadable content brawlers for $6.99 each. So they each include 3 skins as well. So I guessing like every character will have at least 3 skins. Is that like a safe assumption to make? I guess so. All right. And that is everything that I can find about this game so far. You know, I definitely missed something. Somewhere the internet is a wide and diverse place, and you know, it's a little scary sometimes. I don't want to go too out there, but if there's anything I missed, then let me know in the comment section below. I suppose I could definitely talk more about like some of the references that we saw in the trailer, and also some of the game mechanics. I'm really interested in how that meter is going to work in particular. But let me know what bullet point you are most excited about in the comment section below. And if you want to stay up to date with Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 news, then be sure to subscribe to this channel. And every time we find out something about Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, I'll be one of the first people to talk about it. So definitely subscribe if you think that sounds good. But all right, y'all, I'm really excited about this. I think this is just like gonna be a great way to revitalize this game. So thank you so much. This is Riders, riding out.